Thought I was streaming. Sorry about that. All right. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It's Doc here from North America. It is Tuesday. Now, all our markets are open. They're still kicking around the debt ceiling. It's going through its process. I don't have a strong opinion because I haven't read all of it, but it doesn't sound too bad. 1% gain, 1% increase in spending, which is what they were shooting for. What else is there? What they've done is they've kind of shortened the IRS thing and so forth. So in other words, it can't be done until next year, which means it's more than likely it's not going to get done. But in other words, there's all kinds of mechanics going on. I guess you could call it strategies. We'll see. There's still talk that there probably isn't going to be any Democrat votes for it. So that's the biggest thing of all I see out of it is they just want to get it on the record that the Democrats refuse to raise the debt ceiling. So anyway, we'll see how it plays out. I think there's going to be a vote. If it goes through procedures correctly, it'll be a vote on Wednesday evening after the markets have closed here in the United States. So, all right, that's to get that off my chest. And what else we got going on here? Okay, there's the dollar index. You see the strength in it this morning. It's been climbing and climbing and climbing. You can see the green line is at 76 and the yellow is at 86. So it's telling us that they're trying to sell it down. You see on Chicago Quant over here, we slid into the sell, I guess, yesterday, but it's a dead day, so it's awful hard to trust, So it's doing it today again. They're pressing it down. You can see it's lower than the Friday close. You see the weekly is still very firm. Both the fast-moving algorithm and the slow algorithm is above the time manifold itself. So, it's not, real dead in the sense of, in other words, they're not killing the product. It's just being pushed down. Looking at the bonds this morning, we sent them out to some clients, and you can see that the bonds were lifting up the excitement of the some type of resolution. So it raises the debt ceiling past 224, holds spending flat for 224, caps spending is 1%. So that's pretty much a lot of what they were shooting for. And so what they've done is they've shortened it. That's pretty much what it comes down to, is they've shortened it. It said, okay, which is more realistic than anything else. It's like you really can't control what Congresses do 2 years from now or 4 years from now. Why they keep on pretending this 10-year this and the 5-year that, and it's like, just get the job done now. That's what you get paid for, doing it now. You may not be in Congress in 2 years. And so, that's the answer to it all. All right, and that's probably, why we can look at the dollar index and relate to it on what's going on inside the system itself. And I see Robin said hi. I see George said hi. And let's see what else is going on here. Starting off as a quiet morning. Let's see. I'm going to get rid of that advertisement there. Okay. I see Benny. Yo, Benny. Benny and the Jets. It's going good. I was looking at the last win. The last win looks good. Look at this. Here's the last win. Look at that. Trading over the 190 area. We went into the buy here at the 187 area. 187.20. And it's gone all the way up to the 190. What's the high now? 190. Basically 190. Just a 190.0046. So it's kind of tight in there. You see the daily is still holding on there. What's interesting is the slow, where's it at? Let's get that right there. You can see it right there. The slow algorithm is breaking the time manifold. The fast is still holding up. So this is going to be a little interesting in here. But overall, it's still just, telling you to be long. And also you're telling you you should have taken some profits. Not all your profits, just some of your profits. So there you go again. So we've had 3 wins. A win there that went wrong, a win there that went right, and another win that went right again. So That's how the math usually works. If it doesn't win the first time, it usually wins the second time, and if it doesn't win the second time, it makes up both the first and second time most of the time on the third time. It's consistent like that, and then the fourth time with it will be strong in the fifth and so forth. It has about an 85% consistency for the last 45 years, so that's pretty good. As I take a sip of my tea there. All right, now, what else can we talk about here? I guess we go back to the euro. I guess we'll take a look at the euro after looking at the dollar index and seeing that it, is only acting sideways at this point and down a little bit. And there it is right there. You can see it's trying to lift up. It is actually plus at the moment right there, as you see the arrows, let's go like that. There it is. It's trying to break through. Let's put it up here. There we go. You can see right here, it's been in a steady slide on the daily. You can see the yellow is at 15. You can see the green is at 23. So obviously the buying is coming in. It's higher. And at the same time, you can see here we have our green line, or the green algorithm here, pressing through the 0 line. So it's trying to show some strength. You can see this on the weekly. You can see a quick jump by the fast. The slow is still lagging, and you can see how it did it last time over in here. The fast tried to turn up. Where is it at? Finally, right there. It did the turn up near these bottoms. You'll get some saber tooth, as we usually describe it, or sawtooth. And then as they start to show more and more strength, you can start to try to join in on a daily buy and catch some nice moves, so forth and so on. Just as when it did this through the sell, you could catch some daily sell moves on the downside there. Oh, let's see what Benny says. Thank you, Doc. Good, Benny. Very good. Yeah, it's a good, consistent mathematics and that's why we do it. We show you the daily and the weekly. I mean, we show you how accurate as I've said in some webinars, if your daily is not as accurate as your weekly, if your intraday is not as accurate as your daily and your weekly combined together, then you're using the wrong tools in your intraday. The tools should be all pretty much very accurate and analogous, equal to, or kind of symmetrical, not symmetrical, but equal in the sense of activity and consistency, which is a big question mark we have many a time. Consistency. Following the K, that's good. Yeah, the fast and slow Ks are very good, very good. They emulate. They're only like 2 or 3 hours off my work when it comes to a daily, and the weekly can be almost a day. But they do catch up, and so it's a good tool when you don't have our tool. That's what it comes down to, and that's why we show the J4X with those tools in there, and then we show the the Chicago Quant confirming. Most of the time, they both confirm each other on some level over a short period of time. And so that's the answer to a lot of it. Slow and fast Ks. All right. Where do we go from there? And then using the Hinky-Ashke bars, the comparing the red versus the green, that type of thing. Again, it's a few hours delayed on an intraday or a daily, weekly. But it is a good tool. Let's see, where do we go from here? Let's go to the cable. Let's see what the British pound is doing this morning. Oh yeah, let's just do this too before we hit the cable. Let's look at the product you like watching. Yeah, you see here on the daily, the green is still above. It's at 86. And the yellow is at 84. Just as we're starting to slow down, let's go back to it over here real quick. There we go. And you see here our work has tried to break down. Doing the same thing. It's trying, just as this is trying. And you see all these green dots. Where's that mouse again? There it is. See all these green dots over the last 6 days. You can see the same thing here over the last 6 days. And so that is a very positive way of looking at things. All right, now from there we'll go over to the cable. Bing, bang. Woo, look at that nice big jump. Let's see, right there, and right there, and right there. You can see that spike up today. You can see the weekly. Let's move the weekly line down. Went into a weekly sell last week. Right there. And you can see the fast has jumped through the manifold. The slow is drifting. Let's see what it looks like over here. And there's the weekly. It's loading in over on J4X. We'll see. We'll wait for it to show. And, obviously we're going to be watching this weekly here to see when it tries to turn back up again. And same thing with the daily. This could be just a dead cat bounce thing going on. You can see it's been in the red for going on a 3rd week. Let's see, right there is 79. See, right there is 71. So it dropped underneath it, telling you there was weakness, just like the fast-moving stochastic did. Right there. The slow kind of dragged its feet. We went into the daily sell here and wouldn't let go. It just kept on sliding down. And so you can see here, that pressure, and then right there is 47, almost 48. Call that 48. Right there is 22. So it still was underneath. Now you see it at 23, and you can see the yellow is at 31. And you can see it'll start to change about 2 or 3 hours from now. We'll see the weekly, maybe even 4 hours from now, something like that. More like half a day at least. And it'll start, if this stays where this is over on the Chicago Quant, then what will happen is this will out of nowhere will start to turn up over the next 4 or 5 hours. And so, like I said, the only thing that really slows it down is the lag itself. Let's see. Oh, what do we got here? Benny says, what's happening with gold, Doc? Oh, let's go check it out. Bears are leading. I thought it was, did they finally turn gold around? It was in a sell last I saw it. Not there. There's the S&P. It's been very firm throughout the morning hours here. Right there and right there. Yeah, see, I got gold down for the day. Let's put it up on J4X. Right there. And let's get into, you can see the weekly. Let's let it fill in. You can see here we're in a weekly sell for a few weeks now. You can see we've been in a daily sell since up here in the $2,020 area. And there's been just pressure on this product. And then they tried to get into a buy, but we were a red dot, and it still stayed in the sell. And next thing you know is they're rolling over again the next day, as the way the math does it. It kind of gives you that truth, And then you can see over here on the weekly, same thing, pressure the last few weeks. We're looking at 14 there and 23 there, so it still has that pressure on the weekly basis. Now let's go to, no, I don't need to change the product, I need to change the time frame. So we go to the daily here, and there's the daily. We're getting a little green action there. I see that. You see 17 there. We see 26 here. You see we are turning up on the daily. It is trying, but it's hitting the manifold. And we've got a red at the bottom, and we've got a green at the top. So it's not doing the best. It's off its lows, I guess. That's what you're trying to say. Is bulls are leading today. It's down for the day still, though. It is down for the day. It's a minus, or just a hair of its chin, but it is still a minus. It's not really reflecting, like a real good move up on any level. Huh. Yeah, so there's the gold. And you can see that the J4X is trying to do a little turning there, just like the green line is turning on Chicago Quant's daily. Another sip of the old tea there. Is it its limit? That's a good question. I like the way you phrase that. When you look at the weekly, when you see the weekly here, and it doesn't seem to have any energy to lift. It's just cruising down. Matter of fact, let's scrunch it up a little bit and see when's the last time we were down in this area. You see it got even as low as, well, in this case here, near about a 2 week, before it turned up really 2 weeks, the daily turned up. And then you could see that the fast moved up with that daily, okay? And then it got through the manifold, but it didn't get through the zero line. And there's the zero line. And then the following week it started to, and it bottomed in the 1860s, 1870s, and ran over a 2 week period up to the 2021. So about a $150 move. And it did it with a daily buy too. Let's move that over. It did it with the daily buy right there. So, we may be coming, it's hard to say in the sense of, let me read that again because I like the way you phrased it. I've got I see. So is this the limit? You mean on the downside? Yeah. We could be a week or two away from really getting some strength in it. Like to see the fast start to turn up here. Like to see that fast turn up. And and that would help out. And when you look at the K and the slow K and the fast K, let's take a look at the weekly there. There's the weekly. And you can see it's being just as pressured as it is here. The green is still below the yellow. So, and you got three hinky reds. So, it could be next week's business at the end of next week. That's what it could be. It could be next week's business. But it's definitely not this week's business. And if you've been riding the sell on Doc's work, or the K's, the 2 minus, what it is, it's telling you to start taking some profits out of it. In other words, you can never go wrong by taking some profits and then having stops or options protecting the upside so that you don't give away those profits. Huh. Oh, jeez. What a craziness. I just saw a strange thing on the TV. All right. Yeah, so I think that's the way to look at it. I've got a buy from 35 still holding. A buy from 35. On the daily? You mean like it was right here or something? You have red hinkies though, so you can't really take the turn of the K's until you get the hinkies green, like you're seeing it here. You're starting to get some green, and the K and the K's are turning plus. So, that's that. For me, my work is still saying, it's turning, it's trying to bottom. But it's not there yet. Now, by the end of the day, we might be, it could lift up and be in a daily buy. But we'll see. I'm not, especially with it being in a weekly sell, why even consider worrying about the buy? Until we get into more towards a weekly buy on the the fast at least, if not, both the slow and fast on a weekly. Why even consider buying? You can dollar cost average. If you dollar cost average in this product every month or every quarter, well, that makes sense. But if you're just buying for the next 3 or 5 or 10 days, not really. I don't see anything jumping out at me saying, geez, I want to be long. Let's see. Benny says, so is limit, I've got it. I mean the limit of the high side. Oh, what? The gold up and around the 250 area? I don't know. Over what time frame? Do I see it as a limit right now? Of course, it's in a weekly sell. But do I think, I'm in my heart, I'm always perpetually a bull in the metals complex. Just because of the strange people running our financial system at this point in the government. And you would assume that gold is undervalued and silver is undervalued just because of the level of incompetency in the financial system at this point. I mean, Chairman Powell is as far away from reality as anybody can be. Same thing with Mr. or Mrs. Yellen. I mean, these are the people that tried to tell you that there was no inflation for almost a year and a half, when inflation went from 1.5% during the Trump years to all of a sudden, within months, as soon as Mr. Biden's in office, it starts to leap. It starts to pick up going into at the end of the first quarter. And they walk around telling you for over a year, a year and a quarter, that it's transitory. It's like a year and a half. It took them. They didn't start raising rates until May. And Mr. Biden got into office in January. So, I mean, it's like, it's awful hard to trust people like that. And that alone makes me want to think that gold is one of the great refuges to run to. So it comes down to your time frame. If you're thinking about over the next, 25, 30 days, or if you're thinking about the next 2 or 3 years. Yeah, so I don't, until we get back into a weekly buy, I'm not bullish on it. I'm on the short term. I'm only bullish on the real long term, 2 or 3 year period. And again, that would cater to dollar cost averaging into the product. In other words, you know that it's taking a certain path, and you start trying to pick up inventory because you know it's going to go that way. We'll let you figure that out and give us an answer to that. I'm going to take another sip of the tea. Wait for Benny to fire something out there. All right. Well, we'll give you time to do that. Where do we go from here? We were in where were we? We're in the cable, right? So we'll jump back to the where's it? Where is it at? There it is. Dollar Swiss. And we'll put the dollar Swiss up over here. And we'll wait for Benny to kind of give us a flavor of what he's thinking. Yeah, it all comes down to the time reference frame itself. And I have to emphasize, how I feel when something's in a weekly buy. Yeah, I think it's going higher. When it's in a weekly sell, yeah, I think it's going lower. It's my opinion is basically on the short term is always, and what I mean by short term is weeks and months. With the weekly and the daily. All right, and there you can see Swiss trying to roll over too. You see the green is 59. You can see the yellow is 73. So they're pressing on that. You see over here on Chicago Quant, we've got in a daily sell for a day or two here, it looks like. And the weekly is still very firm. So they're just taking profits from this particular move at the moment. And I'd imagine that that's part of the action that we're starting to see is, I'm sure they're going to want to see how the vote comes. I know it's in procedure night right now, and like I said, they've shortened everything to get things done. And so the question is, will there be any Democrats that'll vote for it? And that's what in other words, we may be in a process that no one will vote for it. McCarthy can say, "Here, I came up with a plan." Mr. Biden couldn't get any Democrats to vote for it. I mean, it could be just as simple as that. I mean, McCarthy is very smart, and he got what deal he came up with is literally just a short version of the longer version they passed. That's all it is. And that may have some of the Freedom Caucus and a few others not in the mood to vote for it, and them saying basically, well, look, if the Democrats won't vote for it, why do we need to vote for it? And that will be it, and he won't get to 218. Interesting times. Only way to describe it. Interesting times. All right. Where do we go from here? From the Swiss, we go over to the yen. Right there. Yen has busted away from that 140 area. It's a little below it at the moment. Yellow at what is that, 68 or 58? I think that's 88. Okay. Yeah, it's 88. And green is at 78. So there's pressure on it, which is interesting. After that nice pop up. Right there. You can see that pressure on it there. Pressing down, the green line has pierced the manifold, not the manifold, the zero line itself. So it's in the negative. And it's got a red dot. So it's definitely telling us that. But you can see the weekly is kind of just saying, hey, I think we're taking the profits from this nice move, and we're not going to jump around too much at the moment. And that's the way it looks to me. And that is the action we're seeing here. All right. All right. Let's see. That's yen. So I guess we'll go from yen now to see how the Turkish lira is doing. I think that's what it is. Yeah, we go to the Turkish lira. And there it is right there, trading at 2040. They've put a high up now of 2043. Let's see, where's it at? Right there we are. You see it's turning back up. We talked about this yesterday. We were expecting him to win around the 53 to 55 area. He just barely got underneath that. Came in with 52 point something. The opposition got 47 something. The attitude about it all at this point in time is that the government is just moseying along like a cattle just moving. That's it. It doesn't have much conviction. I guess we're going to see more illiquidity to the currency itself. Now that it's very clear that the policies are going to stay the same, you can see here that we've been in a weekly buy, and they started to threaten the daily. I'm sorry, yeah, the weekly sell. But the green did not break the manifold, it broke the manifold, didn't break the zero line. The fast broke down for a week or so in it, and you can see some of the crazy moves they had with that. And then in the sell there itself. And then you can see now the fast is moving up with the slow and breaking the manifolds up on the top side. So obviously investors into Turkey are not the happiest bunch. That's what it really comes down to. Not the happiest. Let's see now. From there we go over to the peso. Right there. Dollar peso, you can see that's at 22 and the green is at 6. So that's very bullish. When it's going down, it's gaining against the dollar. So let's put the king of the bricks up. Now here, nothing. It's almost unchanged from yesterday, and from Friday it's relatively unchanged. You can see we've been in the sell from there for the last 4 days. Been in the weekly sell from the 118 and a tenth or something like that, or a quarter. Let's see, can we say anything else about all this? Definitely trends. This product trends nicely. It really does. You can see here, the fast has tried to get through the manifold and failed. Now it's doing it again. It's what is that? It's actually plus at the moment, the fast. And that's exactly what's going on here. Is this product is the leader of the bricks. And as we say, if I had to put together a brick index, this would take the part of the euro. In other words, it would be it would be the bulk. It would be over 50% of the index, this particular currency. So when we watch this probably gives us a better idea of what's going on with the bricks compared to the other ones that everybody else thinks is the real deal. When in fact, between the Mexican peso, the South African rand, and the Indian rupee, they're the three major pillars to the brick. Nice hot tea. All right. From there, we slide over to the Canadian, and we'll look at where is it? Let's see. We'll look at see, we talked about it yesterday too. Is that it's probably going to try to come back into the trend. And you can see here we're getting a daily sell out of it. There's pressure there. You can see the fast dropped underneath and lifted up and is dropping down again, both trying to penetrate the manifold here. Maybe we'll see, now normally, let's go over to the energy sector. Right there. And you can see oil is dropping, so that normally that pushes the Canadian up. And you can see it's up a little bit from yesterday. You see here, same situation. It's trying to turn. You can see this is at 46. This is at 36. But the pressure is still on. In other words, the fact that it's even trying to go down, this product even trying to lift up, break the top part of the triangle when it comes to the Canadian is impressive for the weakness we're seeing in the energy sector. Now let's put energy sector up on here. And there it is right there. You can see we are at the lows of today from Friday's close. You can see we've been in daily sell for 3 days. We're just barely underneath, and we're losing that weekly buy that was there. Let's see, was it 9:06? So about 3.5 hours ago, it was trying to get into the buy, and you can see the high here where it had taken out yesterday's close or Friday's close, and now it's taking out Friday's lows. So that should put more pressure on the Canadian to go up and lose against the dollar. Alrighty. Let's see, where do we go from here? From here we go over to the South African rand, the other big player in the brick indice. Let's see. Right there. And you can see here the South African rand got up to another high, up into the 1986 area. Let's take a look at it over here. Right there. You see it did make a new high. It's still higher than yesterday, And at the same time, we've got a red and a green right there. And because we have that red and green, you can see here it's trying to flip onto the downside. We're starting to see some pressure there. So, and the weekly itself is, they're turning. There's no doubt they're turning. But not enough weakness to really care. This may be, Benny, this is usually a sign before all the horrible political problems they started to have in South Africa over the last year and a half, or the last year or so now. Basically, this is the problem. And I guess when did it start? The political stuff started right here where we put the triangle to talk about it. Politics, $500,000 in cash. So since December, the product is going totally the wrong way for the way gold is moving. So it's broken away from gold. And obviously there's going to be times where it adjusts back and forth. But it's not trading with gold anymore overall. In other words, with gold trading just underneath 2,000, this thing should be like 14 and a quarter, not 19 and 3/4. It's just not participating well. All right, that finishes the currencies, and let's go out with looking at Benny's GBP AUD. Yeah, making more highs. 190, 163 now. Keeps on pushing up. All right. So now, let's go over to, since we were talking about the metals, let's go see silver. You see here it's trying to get into the buy. It's above the zero line, but it's down for the day. You see the weekly, we got the fast trying to move up through the manifold and the slow barely moving. So it just tells you, that metals complex cannot get any effort into it. There's just no conviction from traders. At a time like this when we have so much uncertainty, it is surprising to see the lack of interest in the metals complex. You would think people would be running towards it all the time. But instead, we don't see that. And that's what's so weird about it all. Alright. So, from there, you can see the silver is trying to do something positive on the upside. But the weekly's stopping you from even thinking about it. Then we go over to the other two. Let's go over to copper. Right there. You see copper's been trying to lift for the last couple days. And you see it right here. It's in a daily buy for a second day. Friday was the first day. This is the second day. What else can we say about this? You can see the fast has moved through the manifold, and the slow is turning up, but it's still kind of dogged, And you can see here, it's trading at 72 in the K fast, and the slow is at like 53. So it's confirming this action we're seeing right there. All right, and then from there, let's go to platinum. I don't think we have platinum on J4X. No, let's just do it off of Chicago Quant. There it is right there. You can see it's second day in a buy. Platinum is trying to lift up. You can see the weekly, the fast is moving above the manifold in the minus side, and the green has turned on the angle and is trying to lift. So we've seen this before now where it loses that punch, But we did, you can go back and you can see here back in March, we got into that action and we got a great move out of it from, what was it, platinum went from 1,000 to 1,150. So that was a pretty good move. It's like the 980s up. It was in a daily buy, and very, very warning that there's pressure. And then when you see that like that, in other words, you see the platinum showing that daily strength and the weekly strength, then you start to think, okay, when I see strength in the weekly or daily gold or the daily silver, then maybe we're going to get some buyers. And that's usually the way that works. All right, and then from there, that pretty much completes the action there. Let me just save that like that. There we are. And then we go like that right there. Same thing. Save that. There we go. Kappa. Now from there we slide over to the energy sector. And we've seen the front month, July, coming and making the lows that it's doing. You see the pressure on it. It's underneath the weekly again. And then from there we go to the back month of September, and it's doing the same thing. It climbed into the weekly buy last week, and it's starting to try to roll over. Now over here, we're going to stick on J4X. We're going to put, there's the light crude you see right there, joining in again, and you can see the green line is definitely underneath, showing that same weakness here. You can see 3 out of the 4 are red, and you see, what else is there? And then, I know. And then we go from there, we go to Brent on J4X. Where's that? Where's Brent at? It's right around here somewhere. Not there. Brent, where are you hiding? There it is. And Brent is feeling that same pressure we see in the U.S. oil market. And you can see it's at 40, almost 42 on the green, but it's at 52 on the yellow, or the slow fast. So, what's this? I see Benny says, I mean the limit of high and sign. Hey, Doc, sorry, I'm back now. Oh, cool. Had to take care of the dogs. Who let out the dogs? Woo! Who let the dogs out? Dun, dun. Cool. All right. From there, we go over to the nat gas. There it is right there. Trading at $2.30, almost 34 cents. 33 cents something. And you can see here on Chicano Quants. Right there, Chicano. All right, there's the Chicago charts, and you can see there the pressure is on for the last couple days. Right there. And the weekly has been hesitant, but breaking down again, and the fast is holding up. That's the interesting one. We went into the sell in the middle of last week, and sure enough, the daily, which was in a sell, paid off because it got wackadoodled. So it got beat down. Now, are we going to go after that $2 area again? It has that flavor to it, and we have seen Europe move down into the 25s. Love to see the thing move down to the 15s. At least make some sanity out of it all. And so then from there, let's see. There's natural gas and natural gas. And, nobody seems to be lifting up. It all seems to be sideways or down. So there's not a lot of love for these products at this point. There you are. And what else can we say about any of those? Let's see that. Broke there. Let me just double check something here. Make sure I can hear me. Let me push up the volume a little bit. Yep, there it is. There we are. And let me put some tape on this too at some time. Where's that at? I know there's tape around here a little while ago. This poor microphone gets more beat up. And I got the big blue ball too, but I don't use it. Let's see. We'll find some tape and tape this thing up, make sure it's healthy. All right. I won't worry about it now because we're getting towards the end of the broadcast. But I want to make sure that I'll leave it on the desk here so that I don't forget to fix it. Like that. And let me know if you're not hearing me as well. All right. From there, oh, there's some tape. And so from there, let's see, that's natural gas. Let's take a look at the price of natural gas in Europe right now. Let's see what that's doing. So we go to the Spanish company, that energy company down in Spain, and its stock kind of matches to the natural gas industry. So right there, it is 26.43 at 26.38. They've come off the 25 area. It barely dropped underneath the 25 to begin with, but it did drop underneath there a little bit. And we were all excited about it too. At least I was. I always like to see, prices come down for Europeans when it comes to this energy stuff, because it's really brutalizing the whole continent. Let's see. Oh, there we go. There's Mountain. Mountain says, so again, I am sacrificing Paris Open tennis action. That's so nice, Mountain. I say, listen to me. Do you really need to hear them? Can't you just watch them? I'm a big fan I watch sports, and I don't have the volume up at all. Not at all. I can't take all the rambling and the yakking. And, they're making time. They're trying to justify their salaries or something. It's very disappointing. I try to dodge that. So, yeah, I hear you, and I agree with you. I like watching tennis. Tennis is fun. But I don't listen to them. I just don't get trapped in that yakety yak, All right. Where else do we go from here? All right, so that is natural gas. We've done the energy sector. Now we'll go over to the stock indices. Mountain says, well, yes, I am watching the action with the sound muted. Of course, because they'll just wear your ears out. But I like the commentary. Sometimes there is. It depends on who it is. I'll tell you this: when it's McEnroe, I really do enjoy hearing McEnroe, but not big deal. I will tune in again in 10 minutes. Yeah, I'll tell you. Not even that, is it? No, it's yeah, McEnroe is really good to listen to. Because the bad boy is now a commentator, and luckily he doesn't like Mr. Angry, I guess you could call him. McEnroe is like Mr. Angry. He was. I liked McEnroe. He was good. Let's see. Where are we at this point? Let's go to the stock indices. There's the S&P 500. You can see it's holding up from Friday's little sell-off. It's holding on well. The highs, the whole bit, and at the same time, right. Let's see, where's it at? Right here. We'll look at it on an intraday basis. You see the same thing. It's been kind of quiet all morning long. It's been in the buy since right here. And it has gone up from the 25, 26 area to the 37 or 38 area. Same thing here. It's been in a buy since the 28 area. And now we are hanging out in the 37s. So the S&P 500 is joining in. Now, let's take a look at, is that right? Let's go over to, there's the Tech 100. Oh, and let's put that, let's first put that up on J4X too. Right there, there's the daily. So, you're seeing that same strength there as you're seeing right here. You see that the Green line is at 89 and the yellow is at 74. So they're buying it. And let's take a look at the Tech 100 right there. There it is. And you see there, it barely sold off on Friday. And it's holding up in that weekly buy or daily buy right there from like this point. We could steal this one. Move that in there like that. That's where the daily buy started. That was on this up right there. And then when it did go minus, it was a green right there. So it stayed in the buy, and it's in the buy. The weekly has been in a buy all the way back here. The fast has been pretty tenacious. Even when it gave up for 1 week, it just joined in again. It was in a daily sell too for that move, and then let's see if we can steal another green from somewhere. There's another green. And then it jumped back into the buy there and didn't do too good a job. Let's grab that sell and slide that in right there. But you really didn't want to take the shorts, you just wanted to take profits. And then we got another green there. Let's see if we can steal one more green. There it is. There it is. And went back into the buy there, and it did drift up. And that red is on this, so it finally did go into the sell there. So let's put a red in there. Right there. And then it jumped back into the buy here, and I see it did fall into a sell there. That's not that. So let's do this. Let's drop a line in there. Right there. Yeah, it does match up. I thought it didn't. And then it jumped right back into the buy the next day right there with the weekly. So you wouldn't take that short to begin with. The most you would do is take a profit if you do that much. But, you should always take profits. All right. Let's see. Mountain says, John McEnroe seems to have gone away. He was commenting last year. Yeah, I always enjoy him. The bad boy of tennis. So, Doc, you are saying that this is a trading channel, not a tennis channel. I'll talk tennis. You want to talk tennis? I like tennis. I like playing tennis. I can play tennis left-handed and right-handed. When I play less experienced players, I play left-handed. When I play more experienced players, I play right-handed. Now, there's definitely my serve with my left hand is not as scrumptious, but I put a better spin on it, I can tell you that. So, yes, I have no problem talking that. Okay. All right, where are we at now? We're about 25 after, so I want to just take a look at one other product in the stock indice universe. That is, I'm going to see what the Russell's doing this morning. And it's trying to lift up. And you can see here on Friday. Oh, no, that's yesterday. So let's fix that. Let's reload that. There we go. That's better. So you can see on Friday it missed it. And today it's trying to get into the buy. And you can see the weekly is trying to get into the buy. Let's widen this weekly stuff out. Let's see. First of all, go up like that a little bit more. Push this up a little bit more like so. And then let's do this. Let's widen this out a little bit more. But that could be a very bullish sign when it comes to the stock indices. We've been in the sell since here and it's done nothing. Butkus. And now all of a sudden it's trying to get into the buy. That's interesting to see. So let's watch and see what they do with this. All right, traders, we're out of here. I never seen anybody play tennis with either hand now. Wow. Really? Huh. Yeah, when I'm playing against less experienced players, way less experienced players, I'll play with left-handed. And then when I'm playing like with people that play like every couple times a week or once a week or something like that, I'll play right-handed. Mainly because of my serve. But if I lose control of something, I can flip that racket to my left hand. If it's one of those goofy spikes, not spikes, sky ball, where it pops way up, and they've made a mistake because it was too hot, and I'll move my racket onto my left hand, and slam it, because they gave me a wounded duck. Anyhow, that is that. This is Doc from North America. Catch you all tomorrow, same time, same channel. So, happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. Later, later, traders.